supple block and the thin block are the ideal mix with a stretchy band, everyone as well. Okay, well done, Sue. And not a drop of rain on you. Okay, place your elbows on the floor, rest one hand near your lower belly, one hand along your upper belly, close your eyes. Legs are bent, so knees are pointing to the ceiling. Shoulders are relaxed. Take a breath in through your nose. And relax the breath out through your lips. A couple more, breathe in through your nose. Feel your abdomen rising. Breathe out through your lips, feel your abdomen fall. Breathe out slowly, giving your abdomen a slow exhale. One more like that, in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, slow abdominal fall. Place your little fingers, your little fingertips on the front bones of your pelvis, the prominent pointy bits, and then stretch your thumbs up to the bottom points of your rib cage. Take an inhale. This time as you exhale, narrow those 4 points together and feel the glue-like substance of your core muscles holding those 4 points together. Inhale, see if they can stay fixed. So now when you breathe in and out, your belly doesn't move. You're going to feel your breath more up in your chest. See if you can keep those 4 points, your hip points and your rib points, engaged together. Maybe you just prod your tummy and feel your tummy muscles are active. With that, release your hands and inhale, your arms float toward the ceiling, and exhale, your arms float back by your side. Inhale, arms toward the ceiling, and emphasize your ribs staying flat. Exhale, arms down by your side. Inhale, arms to the ceiling and a little further back, maybe in line with your forehead, and then back down. And then again, about in line with your forehead so you can still see them above you, and then arms back down. Think of those 4 points of your abdomen pushing toward the floor. So when your arms float, those 4 points don't stretch, don't lift. Maybe your arms can go a little bit further back, so they just go maybe in line with the tip of your nose as they go back, but not all the way down to the floor. And let's do 3 more of those. Inhale, arms floating back. Exhale, add a pelvic floor squeeze when your arms come down. Inhaling, arms float back, ribs lay flat. 4 points pushing down, exhale, pelvic floor. One more like that. And then your arms stay down by your side. Inhale, relax your arms and shoulders. Exhale, lift your right leg into a single knee fold. Keep it there. 3 breaths in and out, feeling your lower belly muscles staying firm. In and out, your thigh bone is vertical, your knee at 90 degrees. One more. As you exhale, lower your foot to the floor, moving from your hip joint. The leg stays bent. Leg lifts, left leg this time, left leg. So, Kevin, your right leg stays bent. There you go. 3 breaths. 2. So try and feel your pelvis is flat and level on the floor. 1 more breath. As you exhale, return that foot to the floor. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift right. Inhale, lower right. Exhale, lift left. Inhale, lower left. Keep going like that. Inhaling as your leg lowers, exhaling as your leg lifts, keeping it slow and steady. No rush. Notice how you are moving from the hip joint without moving your pelvis. So because the ball and socket joint is the connection of your thigh bone with your pelvic bone, we're moving the thigh bone, but we're not moving the pelvic bone. So see if you can feel your leg moves, but the pelvis stays perfectly steady. Your 4 points don't become distorted at all. So feel those 4 points like if they were like a dot to dot, neither of those 4 dots are shifting. They're continuing to press toward the floor. 1 more on each leg. I am looking around and checking you all just from my high vantage point here, and you are looking good. So next time one leg lifts, keep that leg lifted. Take an inhale with that leg there, and then lift the second leg up so you're in a double knee fold. From your double knee fold position, breathe, keep the legs in both in a double knee fold. If you notice now you are straining in your neck, your shoulders have popped up, or you're tensing your jaw, relax your arms, palms upwards so you get more softness invited into your shoulders, more softness in your neck and your jaw. But still check that you're feeling firm between the 4 points of your abdomen. Next time you exhale, tap one foot to the floor. Inhale to lift that leg. Exhale as you tap the other foot to the floor. And inhale to lift. Good. Keep going like that. And you're working like this, moving still from the thigh bone, not from the pelvis. So if you feel like your pelvis tips slightly when your leg taps away, and you feel like your pelvis is lifting a little and the lower back lifts a little, or your 4 points are distorting, then try and press your lower back a bit flatter to the floor, almost like you're trying to squeeze the air underneath your lower back. Even try bringing your thigh bones a bit closer to you, and that will make it a little bit easier from this double knee fold, having your thigh bones closer to you. Another way of making it a little bit easier is just to tap the floor closer to your bottom, so the angle of your knee is less than 90. For those of you who can make it a little stronger, instead of tapping your foot to the floor, straighten your leg away and then bend your leg back in again. And you could straighten your leg away 45 degrees in the air. You could straighten it away where your feet are just running on the same line as each other. That might be a good level for many of you. You don't really need to take it where it goes down near the floor. That will add quite a high intensity. So keep the leg so it's at least a couple of feet away from the floor when you extend the leg out. We want to check still that the pelvis doesn't tip and that we're using our belly muscles to hug back when the leg extends away. I'm going to do 2 more in each leg. If you need to, you can go back to foot on the floor, lifting up. Again, checking your shoulders and arms are relaxed, and do 1 more on each leg. Lower belly drawing back, last extension. Then from your double knee fold, which were maybe all in there, take 1 foot to the floor so it lands like it's landing on a piece of rice paper, nice and light on the floor. Then the second foot onto that imaginary rice paper, so both feet are on the floor, but you're still in your core. And then relax and feel how your pelvis relaxes and moves. Drop your knees apart so you're in a butterfly stretch. And just take your arms out into cactus shape. So elbows are in line with your armpits. Forearms are pointing up toward the back of the room. Notice how wide your knees are right now. And we're going to slide our feet out to where the knees are. So your feet end up as wide as where your knees were. Feet are wide on your mat. Okay, and then sway your knees to the right, look to the left. And point your right forearm down to your knees. And then come the other way, point your left forearm down to the knees. Knees one way, head turns the other. And you're swaying your knees and adding that little cactus point of your arm. So your cactus points down to the knees each time. That's it. So when your knees go one way, your cactus arm points down to the knees. And you just keep swaying from side to side. And turn your head the other way, Louise, away from the knees. Head turns away from the knees. That's it, yeah. So if you struggle to keep your arms on the ground, Trevor, yeah, if you struggle to keep them down, take both arms up to the ceiling, that's it. And when your knees go one way, both arms go the other way. So knees one way, and both, that's it. And almost let them kind of, that one can drift down. So you let your elbow bend, so you can kind of tap that hand, that's it. And then go across, sorry. And then tap the other hand, that's it. And do a couple more of those each way. Last one, whichever direction that is, and when you come back up to centre, stay there and point both forearms to the ceiling. Yeah, you can just keep your feet wide and rest your knees together. Keep the back of your upper arms touching the floor and your fingers pointing to the ceiling. If your upper arms don't get to the floor, it's fine, but as long as they're as close to the ground as you can get them. And then cross your arms over the chest, so your right arm is closest towards your face, and then your fingertips are going to try and touch the ground on the opposite sides. And then open the back of your arms back out again. This time, left arm closest to your face as they cross over each other and tap the ground on the floor. And then again, open, back of your arm touches the floor and cross over, right arm in front. Tap the ground as close to the ground as you can go. And then keep going like that, opening and crossing, tapping the floor. Really good for opening the space between your shoulder blades. Each time your arms go back out, you're trying to get the back of your arms to touch the floor, your elbows to touch the floor before you cross back over again. Go one more of those each way. Good. When your arms are next to the floor, pause there and then straighten both arms up to the ceiling. And bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, make a pistol point with your index fingers and keep your pistol point on the ceiling. Walk your feet together, so now your knees and your feet are connected. Keep your shoulders touching the floor. As both knees go to the right, let the sole of your left foot lift completely, or the sole of both feet lifts, and then pull back to center, drawing the back of your pelvis and your lower back to the floor. Over to the left, keep your right shoulder blade touching the ground. And then pull back to center, pressing your lower back down. Inhale to the right. Exhale, pull to center. When you go to the left, feel how your right hip is pushing up and over to try and keep the knees level. If you imagine you're holding a pound coin between your knees, you're trying not to let your knees slide on that pound coin or drop it. So keep the knees connected and try not to let them slide. By pushing up from that top hip, you're going to end up trying to keep your legs together. And if you go so far where your knees slide or come apart, you are going too far for this exercise. It doesn't mean you're going too far because obviously you can go that far. But what we want to do is we want to control where we stop, not just dropping into flexibility. So let's do a couple more of those each side. Keep your inner ankles connected too, so your feet stay together. That's it, yeah. One full foot comes off the floor. You're on the outside edge of the other foot. That's it. Your fingertips on the ceiling haven't moved at all. That's where your gaze is. Got another on each side. Pull back across. Remember, both shoulders stay on the floor. This is your last one, whichever direction. Come back to center, and I would just curl your tailbone slightly off the floor and reset your bottom down so it feels dead in the center. Keep your knees touching, hug your lower belly back. If you imagine if you were to follow your belly button down to the floor, yeah, feel like your lower tummy muscles are trying to pull back toward the back of your belly button on the ground. So there's almost a diagonal movement going from your knees down your thighs, continuing diagonally down to meet the floor. Keep that feeling. Keep your knees touching, extend your right leg. So your right leg is straight, but your knees are still together. And then place your right foot to the floor. Extend the left leg, keeping your knees touching. Inhale, foot to the floor. Exhale, extend right leg. Feel that diagonal movement all the way down to the back of your belly, the back of your waist, keeping that point connected strongly to the floor like you've got roots at the back of your core. And when your leg extends, it's relying upon those strong roots. Inhaling, your leg bends, foot to the floor. Exhaling when you extend. Remember, the shoulders are touching the ground, and even though our arms are up, why don't we just try interlacing the fingers your less dominant way, just so we get a little switch with that. So other thumb crosses, the other fingers interlace the other way. And if you manage to do that while still keeping the legs going, without them forgetting what they were doing, then that's a good coordination exercise for your brain. Okay, last one each leg. When both feet are to the floor, pause there. Take your pistol point and point back so that you're still able to see your arms in your side view. And your pistol would be pointing maybe toward the back, the top of the back wall of the room. And really focus on your ribs laying flat. So where your thumbs were on the ribs earlier, those 2 points want to feel like your thumbs are pressing them down slightly. Slide your right foot down along the mat. So it's almost like your right leg is just gliding just slightly off the surface of the mat maybe, and then slide the foot back in. And then the left foot slides down the mat and then slides back in. You're either very light on the floor or just sliding slightly off the floor. Either is okay. Now we know that our imaginary thumbs are keeping the front ribs pressing down, but can your imaginary little fingertips keep your rib points coming up toward the ribs, so that when your leg extends, those hip points will want to tip away. So you want to use your abdominal muscles to keep those front hip points tipping upwards slightly towards your waist rather than away from your waist. And do that one more time on each leg. You're all doing brilliantly. You're so steady. I can feel you've all got your core muscles engaged. We've got no arching backs, no flaring ribs. Right, that was the last one. Your feet are both flat to the floor. Bring your arms all the way down by your side. Separate your feet and your knees slightly. Abdominal curl, nod your chin a little, and then feel your thumb point tips move down toward the finger point tips. So in other words, ribs close towards hips. Keep it there. If there's a neck issue for you, bring one hand behind your head, and then when we're halfway, you switch to the other hand behind your head. We're going to beat the arms. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In through the nose, out through the lips. Let's add a sound to the breath. Sniff, 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 sniff. Blow, 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 blow. Sniff, 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 sniff. Blow, blow. If you've got one hand behind your head, change that over. Try curling the shoulder blades up a little more, so that if any part of your shoulder blade is touching the floor, it's just the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. 3 more breaths. Out, 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 out. In, out, 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 out. That might have been 6 anyway. One last round. When you finish this breath, one last round. When you get to the exhale, your exhale takes you back to the floor and your head and arms relax. And we're going to go for a full body stretch. Legs straighten, arms overhead. Wriggle yourself long. We'll revisit some of those exercises in a bit with some harder levels for those of you who felt like you got that, you've nailed that, and you might be able to try it one step harder. From where you are here, can you roll onto your right side and take that thin block you've got between your right bicep and your ear? Rolling onto your right side, so the block is between your right bicep and your ear, and the legs are staying straight. If you struggle to have your arm extended all the way up like this, then have it in front and put your thicker block underneath your head. Camilla, why don't you do this side, the other side first, and turn around and then you can see, and then just do the same thing on the other side. Okay, good. Legs are out straight. Nice, I'm sorry. No blinds to block that sun from your eyes. You'll just enjoy the sunshine while it's randomly shining. Okay, legs straight, Liz. Legs straight. There you go. Okay, good. So the arms extended, the waist tends to stretch. So can you feel that arm shorten a little bit down into the shoulder socket so that you can lift these bottom ribs slightly off the floor so you feel there's a little air gap, like an envelope slot underneath there. Then find your balance, your free hand on the floor, and lift both legs off the ground. When your legs lift, if they move anywhere, bring them forwards a slight shift rather than backwards. We don't want the legs to lift and swing behind. So if you think of your thumb point tips, little fingertips that we were using earlier, keep those 4 points closed. If you don't need your hand on the floor, let's try arm in the air. If you can take your arm further, float it over by your ear so you'd end up with both arms extended. If there's pain in your bottom hip, keep the bottom leg resting on the floor and it will make the shape of your bottom hip easier to balance on. Otherwise, both legs are lifted, but they can be slightly apart, because if I was standing well, I'd be standing with my feet sit bone distance apart, and that's a few inches between the legs, rather than it's harder to balance, and it's the same thing on your side with your legs together. Okay, and let's try adding a little lift with the top leg. So pull your toes up towards your knees, and top leg's going to come up and down. and pushing up and down. Good. And see if that bottom leg can just stay steady. Notice if your legs have started to swing back, because it's easier to balance when we're in that shape. And we want to try and stay really hugged in with the front. Legs will feel like they're pulling forwards. 3 more of those leg lifts. 3. Try pulling your toes up towards your knees, Isabel, rather than your feet being pointed like a ballerina. Pull your toes up towards your knees. That's it, yeah. And then legs forwards a little amount. When you've done that last lift, lower down, bend both knees up in front of you. Take either of those 2 blocks. The thin one's probably going to be okay. Underneath your head, arms in front. Yeah, if you want to use the thicker block, you can, but the thin block should be fine. So start with your palms together. Your top hand is going to reach forwards past your bottom hand. And then bend your elbows, the arm pulls across your chest, you open wide and see if you can reach out and make a chain connection from your arm to your neighbour's hand. And then bend your arm again, drift across your chest and come back across your own hand and reach as far as you can. Bend your elbow, pull over your chest and then extend your arm as wide as you can. Bend your elbow and come back across your chest and then reach your arm straight out in front. Reach forwards, lean forwards. Pull back and keep going like that, inhaling smooth and deep as you open wide. Exhaling long and slow as you reach and reach and reach right to the end of your exhale. And inhaling again, opening, opening, opening until you've got no inhale left, maybe pausing there. And then exhaling, exhaling, exhaling all the way back out in front. One more full one like that. I think I heard someone's tummy rumble then. It is that time, isn't it? Next time you open your arms, stay open. Open your arm out, keep your arm open and breathe there with your arms wide open, chest looking up to the ceiling, nose pointed to the ceiling. Reach a little wider with the left arm and shift your right shoulder a bit further along the floor to get even wider. If you want to make this a little deeper, you could reach down with your right hand, hold the top knee, and straighten the bottom leg down the mat. It's only an option, you don't have to do it. If it feels a little intense, you can bend that bottom leg back up again, or you can put your block underneath the knee. Bring your arm all the way back round. And then when you come up to sitting, you're going to switch. So which leg's bent at the moment? The top leg. The top bent leg is going to shift away from you. And as you come up to sitting, the bottom leg is going to bend. In fact, sorry, the top leg is going to straighten and your bottom leg's going to stay bent. So prop up. That's it. This bottom leg, which is bent, shift back a little bit. So your knee is not right out in front of you, but down slightly. Drop down onto your forearm. Push into your knee and the inside of your left foot and lift up and over into an arch. Push your hips up to the ceiling. Let your head fall toward the floor. And as your left arm reaches up and over, let your left fingers arc like a rainbow, trying to reach toward the ground. Left foot stays on the floor. Get as much height as you can through your ribs, through your hip. And then when you come down, you're going to push up to sitting, swing round on your bottom, right knee points to the ceiling. Right knee points to the ceiling. Step your right foot to the outside of your left knee and twist round to the right. Look over your back shoulder. Lift the left toes up a little bit higher. Roll your right shoulder round a bit more as you look round. When you turn back to centre, if you can, I'm just wondering whether we do keep that same leg and just do a twist around the other way, just so we're balancing our spine out. I was just deciding whether we need a buttock stretch yet, but we're going to do some more bum stuff, so we'll do that later. Come back round and straighten your right leg out. So we've only bent the right leg there. Both legs out straight in front, arms in front. Scoop back through your belly, roll a third of the way down and pause. Tuck your bottom under. Uh-oh, Rachel. Hold it there. 1/3 of the way, hollowing your belly. Point your feet and reach your legs long. Engage your thighs so it feels like your feet are being pulled. If I get a hold of Ali's feet, point your feet, Ali. I'm going to pull her legs this way and she's pulling her belly button the other way. Now go another third of the way down, so you're closer to the floor. Maybe the back of the sacrum is touching the ground. Legs are actively pulling away from your belly button. Then go all the way down, arms over behind, stretch out, arms over. We've gone 3/3 of the way down, ended up all the way to the floor. Roll onto your left side. Place the thin block between your left ear and your arm. Okay. What can... Yeah. Yeah, okay, fine. Right then, legs are straight, fingers on the floor. We want to shorten that bottom arm so we get that feeling of the ribs coming off the floor, the curve of your waist off the floor. Legs are straight, yep, good. And then both legs lift. Think of it just like you're standing, like in that position. Toes pull up towards your knees. We've got the lower abdominal muscles. When you were lying on the floor earlier and your leg was at that angle, and the muscles were coming in, down, continuing back, continuing to here. Feel that now when you're lying on the side. So these lower belly muscles continue that slight up-back diagonal action. So there's almost like a slight draw back through the sides of the waist. Arm up in the air. Arm maybe going over by your ear, or keep it up in the air or on the floor. Either's fine. Good. Toes still pulling up towards your knees, and let's try the top leg lifting. Up and down. Good. Push through the heel, lift through the ankle bone. Almost feel like your toes don't want to come, so the toes are almost dropping down a little, actively emphasizing the heel leads the way. Are you resting that bottom leg down? Yeah. Does it feel better that way?
Yeah.
4 more. You didn't do that on the other side, did you? Just on this? Did you do it on the other side?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice you doing.
Pulling over as well.
Yeah. When you've done that last one, good, everything comes down. Both knees bent up in front, placing that little block underneath your head instead. Knees are together, arms in front of you. Reach forwards past your bottom arm. And then open your arm out wide, turn your head, turn your chest. Bend the elbow as you drift across your chest again. Reach forwards. Bend your elbow, drift your hand across your chest and straighten your arm out behind. Good, keep going like that. Opening and closing. Knees up a bit higher, Isabel. Knees up a little bit higher. That's it, and toes off the front of your mat. Toes off the front of your mat. Toes forwards. Yeah, toes forwards off the front of your mat. Toes off the front of your mat. There you go, that's it, yeah. It's all right. Rebellious toes. A couple more. Slow inhale, inhaling, inhaling, inhaling. Maybe just holding the breath while you get that big reach out. Exhaling, 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 till there's full emptiness into that reach. And one more. Your next one is just a half one. So you go open, and this time you're going to linger there, staying there as you continue to breathe with both arms wide. Left shoulder shifts a bit further along to the left, so your chest opens wide. Chest is looking to the ceiling, nose is looking to the ceiling. Really relaxing in the right shoulder, heavy in the right arm. Same as before, you can stay like that, or your left hand can reach down and catch hold of your top knee, and that bottom leg can straighten down the mat. So maybe that knee lifts up a bit higher towards your hands so that it's easier to reach. All right, Camilla. Is it a cramp? Is that a cramp position? No? No, okay. I'm not sure what you're doing. Let me come and manoeuvre you. That arm stays open. This arm's catching. Your left and right's the opposite way around, remember, because you did, there you go, that's it. That should feel a bit more familiar now, does it? Yeah. Okay, and then turn all the way back round onto your left side. Bring your arm back round. Prop up onto your forearm. Again, I'll do it just facing this way so I get my lefts and rights correct. Left forearm on the floor, left leg bent, right leg straight, so top leg straight. The inside edge of your foot on the floor. Push into your knee, your elbow, and lift. And then take your arm up and over. And as your arm comes up and over, flare your right ribs up. Push the ground down more firmly with your left forearm. Reach up and over and literally feel like you're making this big rainbow from your right foot across through to your right fingertips. When you come down, can you roll on your bottom round to sitting? Left knee points to the ceiling. Hold the left shin. Step your left foot to the outside of your right knee. Twist to the left, looking towards the sunshine. What a contrast to when we first arrived. Oh, I followed a duck with all its little chicks today, all the way through the field, took them all the way through the field. And I just saw the crows down there, it just reminded me because the crows were coming, having a little bit of an interested look, but they didn't get any. They've all got to live, haven't they? Back to centre, a little baby twist the other way, but keep that same leg bent. Back to centre, both legs straight. Make sure you've got plenty of space behind you, so if you feel like you've shuffled back on your mat, excuse me, then shift forwards a bit, because we're going to end up lying on our back and doing the slightly harder versions of those exercises we did earlier. So legs are forwards. Again, you're going to imagine someone pulling your feet, arms in front of you. Go back 1/3 of the way. Pause. Arms off your legs, arms just straight out in front of your chest, but soft shoulders. Hover it there. Legs active. So if I were to come along and touch your thigh bone, or your thigh muscle, your thigh muscles are active. Your kneecaps are engaged. Go 2/3 of the way down, tucking the tailbone under. Hover there. That's it. Keep it going. Hollowing the belly in toward the small of your lower back, and then all the way down. Arms go over behind into a full body stretch. From your full body stretch, bend your legs, feet flat to the floor. Bring your arms down by your side. Okay, so let's take some of those earlier exercises and make them a little deeper, a little stronger. So we'll start with the cactus arms. If you can put the back of your cactus arms on the floor and point your fingertips to the ceiling. Press the shoulders down. And then you don't have to use your hands, but remember those 4 points, little finger and thumb points on your ribs and pelvis. Get them to engage. A slight press through the lower back. Lift one leg into a knee fold. Then lift the second leg up, a double knee fold. From this position, legs can be together or just slightly apart, but try not to let them come too far apart. As your knees go toward the right, the left hip lifts off the floor. You're trying to keep the knees level with each other, so push up from the back of the left hip. And then come back to centre, both hips on the floor. Go toward the left, push up from the back of the right hip, and then pull back to centre, pelvis flat to the floor. Inhale right. The back of your cactus arms are stabilising you. If you remember earlier, we did it with our arms pointing to the ceiling. We will do that in a moment, but for now, feel how the back of your cactus arms are helping stabilise you so you don't topple over. As you go to the right, the back of the left hip pushes that left leg so it stays even with your right leg. As you go to the left, the back of your right hip pushes your right leg even with your left leg. Come back to centre, whichever side you've gone to. Interlace your fingers, point to the ceiling. See if you can do the same thing with your arms in the air. Be warned not to go too far. Keep the shoulder blades down. Use your core more. And maybe don't go quite as far. Push up from the back of the hip. Squeeze the waist and pull back to centre. You can always do it with your feet on the floor. Anything we did stronger earlier, lighter earlier, is always an option for you to drop back to. This is your last twist, whichever side you go to. When you're back to center, pause there. Keep the legs in that double knee fold. Abdominal curl, arms come down by your side. Hold the back of your legs. Lift the chest a little higher. Keep your tailbone long along the floor, but lift through the chest. See if you can keep it there as you let go. If you need a hand behind your head, first 5 breaths, one hand. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, out. In. When you exhale, hollow in the lower belly. Switch the hand over if you've got a hand behind your head. 4 more breaths to go. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sniff, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blow, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. 1. Keep your legs there, head and arms to the floor. We're having a rest in a moment. Take your left foot lightly onto the imaginary piece of paper on your mat. Keep your belly engaged. Right foot goes down. Keep your belly engaged. Drop into butterfly stretch, relax. Arms into cactus, legs into butterfly. Notice in this position, your ribs will want to flare and that's fine. Your back will arch, that's fine. Your pelvis is tipped properly, that's fine. All of that is okay. But notice how that feels in your body so that when we come back into alignment, we can gather everything back in again. So knees come back in together. Lift your tailbone, stretch your lower back long. Bring your arms down by your side. Engage again in the center. Feel like it's 4 big pins pushing on the front of your body and pressing them down toward the back of your body. Slide your right leg along the floor and simultaneously left arm slides back or reaches back. Bring them both back to center, back to the start position. Left leg, right arm, slide away. Back into center. Right leg, left arm. The arm doesn't want to drop to the floor behind you. Keep it so that the arm stays drawing down in the shoulder socket and then we don't overreach or overstretch. We do stretches in Pilates, but when we're doing the core work, we're generally not looking to stretch the body because we want to keep the tone in the muscles. And when the muscles are in their tone position, they're not in their stretch position. Watch out for breathing into your tummy, Kevin. Keep your belly firm when your arm and leg extend. Try not to let your breath go into your tummy, so push down more. You're lifting there, so come in. Okay, that's it. Now keep that, so extend away without rising, without touching my hand. Back down again. Press slightly into my hand here. Press down towards my hand there, that's it. Okay, now try not to lift to my hand there. Okay, go again. Last time. When you're back to center, one last little exercise here. You can do this with your head on the floor if you need to. Otherwise, head, shoulders and arms lift, but we'll take our hands behind the head for a supported lift. Extend your right leg from the knee. Feel that diagonal action of that right leg down through the diagonal muscle, connection into your core, and see if we can take the second leg up, double leg extension for 3. Legs engaged, feel your feet point as if the legs are pulling away, but they're also pulling back as well. 2. Keep the chest lifted a little higher as if you've just pulled the back of the legs and pulled yourself up. 1. Knees into your chest, head to the floor and relax. One hand each knee, circle them open and closed. Circle them the other way. I am going to try and get you to try one last exercise. Knees tucked in towards your chest, legs together. Lift your head and shoulders. Hold the back of your thighs, even though we've got the legs in close, so hold the back of your thighs. Lift your chest a bit higher. Touch your ankles, or you touch your legs somewhere, wherever your arms extend, touch the outside of the legs. Keep your chest lifted. Lift your arms to the ceiling, like we did at the beginning. Bring them back down to your ankles. Do that again, see if you can straighten the legs like we've just done. And then bring them back in again as your arms come down. So 3 more of those. Inhale, exhale, touch the legs. 2, inhale, pressing the lower belly down toward the small of your lower back. And 1 more. Extend, bend back in, and bring your head back down to the floor. When you've done that last one, release your feet to the floor. Full body stretch, legs straight, arms overhead. Bend both legs, cross your right ankle onto your left knee, right ankle, left knee, that's it. Hold the back of your left leg, bring it in towards you. Figure 4 stretch. If your head's fallen back, even with that little block under your head, put the purple one under instead. We can often get the tightness in the hips, pulls our head further back. So if we're really quite tight in the hips, the head's going to fall even further back. Another breath there. Release your left foot down and place your band around your right foot, right leg in the air with the band, hamstring stretch. Good, then release that leg and cross left ankle onto right knee, left ankle onto right knee. Figure 4 stretch on the left leg. Hands around the back of your right leg, bringing it in. Right foot to the floor, left leg in the air with your band. Shoulders relaxing to the floor. Knee pushing straighter. Good, then release that leg. Take your purple block, pop it under your bottom, and go into a full body stretch with your hips on the purple block. If it's not comfortable, you could put the thin soft block under or on top of the purple block if you want to. If it doesn't feel comfortable, go with the smaller block. A light loose extension through your whole body. Or just do a flat full body stretch. Another full breath there, complete your full exhale. Bend your legs, feet wide, tuck your tailbone up, take the block out. Rest your knees together and finish there in a knock-kneed position. Elbows on the floor, hands back onto the abdomen, one higher, one lower. Eyes closed. Now that diagonal fall from your knees, down your thighs, into the hips and softening in your belly is just like a waterfall falling down rather than it being strength. Let it just cascade and relax into your body. The weight of your thighs dropping in. Everything softening around your spine. Soften around your shoulders. Soften around your jaw. Soften around your eyes and your forehead. Soften your wrapping, your skin around your whole body. And feel that soft grip on this moment in time. So not trying to hold on or grasp hold of any feeling or any thought. Whatever comes, let it be transient, let it move on. Let your mind feel very light, loosely gripping. And then take both knees over to the left. Turn your whole body onto your left side, left hip. If it's not comfortable on that side, go to the other. And push into your right hand to push and roll your way up. Swing round on your bottom to face forwards. Let's have both legs straight out in front. Arms in front. And instead of rolling back this time, reach forwards. Reach like you're trying to reach your arms parallel to your legs, as if your fingers want to touch the front wall of the room. Come up with your arms, sit up tall, wriggle from your sit bones, reach like your fingertips are trying to push up through the ceiling. Swoop your arms wide, touch the ground. Nice, well done everybody, thank you very much. Right, quickly get back to your cars now before the weather decides to change again.